Jesus Christ.
it would have been the end. That's why I went so hardcore for Trump. It was otherwise been the end, and that's why the Democrat machine is so intent on destroying me.
So as you might have seen in yesterday's video, there's a lot of funding going into disrupting Tesla dealerships, people who own Tesla cars. It's a massive attack on Elon Musk, almost certainly sponsored by bad actors who don't care about America. The reason I'm going to show this video is because what Musk says is without doubt happening in the USA, and it's also happening in the UK and other places in Western Europe. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Also, I'll almost certainly be live tonight, so if you subscribe you'll be able to find out about that. We've got a cracking community on the live streams, so yeah, hit that subscribe, you'll find out about that. Roll VT.
So if I were to say, like, what's at the heart of the sort of, like, why is the Democrat propaganda machine so fired up to destroy me? That's the main reason. The main reason is that entitlements fraud. That includes like Social Security, disability, Medicaid. Entitlements fraud for illegal aliens is what is serving as a gigantic magnetic force to pull people in from all around the world and keep them here.
See, this is
like
interesting.
If you pay people.
This is interesting because in the UK it's the same thing happening, and the question, you know, they're in hotels, they get phones, they get cars, they get put to the front of the line for houses, and the question everyone asks is why are people doing this? Are they just so broken and liberaled out that they think that it's the job of the British people, or in this case the job of the American people, to help the suffering of the world? Not even the suffering, to help those who aren't as well off as, say, the USA or Western Europe. Maybe at a lower sort of, at the sort of level of the useful idiot, you know, the people who actually do the dog work for these kinds of projects. But the people who are funding this, the people who are controlling it, the people who are instigating it, they've got very different agendas, and Musk is about to outline that.
At a standard of living that is above 90% of Earth, then you have a very powerful incentive for 90% of Earth to come here and to stay here. But if you end the illegal alien fraud, then you turn off that magnet, and they leave, and they stop coming, and the ones that are here, many of them will simply leave.
So if you get rid of all the free stuff, essentially, if you get rid of welfare, if you get rid of houses, phones, food, 5-star hotels, I mean, it is ridiculous the stuff we give to people, and all they've got to do is get to America. All they've got to do is get to England illegally, and they're supported. So the question is why?
And if that happens, they will lose a massive number of Democratic voters.
And if it didn't happen, they would turn those people into voters.
Correct.
Which they were trying to do.
They are already turning them. So in New York State, illegal aliens can already vote in state and city elections.
I mean, that is patently absurd, that people who get into the country illegally can vote. I mean, in the UK, even if they can't vote, they've got massive powers over the law, over the police, over social services. You know, the UK Labour government recently released a paper where they explicitly said that certain minority groups, so-called protected groups, will be treated differently by law. The law will treat them differently because they're different. I mean, it's nuts until you work out why they're doing it.
A lot of people don't know that. I mean, they're trying to fight that, and they're trying to stop that, but they're currently, I think it's like 600,000 are registered to vote, illegal aliens, in New York.
That is wild.
Yeah.
It's not just wild, it's actually obscene. And what an insult to the people of America. What an insult to people who've worked all their lives, contributed all their lives, paid a multitude of taxes all their lives. You know, that social contract that I pay taxes because in the long run it's for the common good and the betterment of the nation. It's a corruption, an absolute corruption of that idea.
Well, I mean, if you look at, say, FEMA, like the agency that was paying for illegal aliens to stay at luxury hotels in New York was FEMA. That's an agency that's meant to support Americans in distress from now.
And we talk about the long march through the institutions. I mean, these places have been infiltrated, and again, they've been motivated to. People at the top have given them incentives. It's incentivized. Get into those jobs. Oh no, you can be a consultant. You can pay yourself a fortune as long as you do this and that. But they're all leftoids. They've all gone through the university bullshit factories, and they've come out at the end. Hey, what do I do next to ruin the country? It's shocking, absolutely shocking. And don't take this lightly. I guess most people who watch my channel wouldn't anyway, but this stuff it's so close to the end of Western civilization as we know it. I mean, can Western Europe ever recover from this without some kind of brutal conflict? Maybe. Let me know what you think. Can the United States recover from the importation of millions of essentially people who are going to vote for free stuff? That's not Republicans. That's not anyone who believes in the nation over the globe, of nationalism over globalism. Not a chance. These are people they're going to vote for the people who promised to give them free stuff. And the people who promised to give them free stuff don't have America first.
Natural disasters was paying for luxury hotels for illegals in New York.
It's true. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Fact.
They're literally, like, when we stopped that payment, we stopped all those money, because that's obviously an insane way to spend taxpayer money.
Obscene.
The New York sued the federal government to get the money. So you could just look at their lawsuit. They would give.
And there you go. It's not just FEMA, it's not just those institutions, but of course the judicial branch is full of these people. Who else chooses to sue a government that's taking the funding away from an organisation that's paying to put illegal immigrants in luxury hotels? How does the judiciary end up defending that? Because they're politically aligned to the whole idea of importing millions of people to vote for them, and the far-reaching implications of that are shocking, absolutely shocking. This is how you end up with a single-party ideological monopoly, and once you've got that, it's very hard to get rid of it. This is like the situation China's in. Once there's no competition, I mean, this week in Romania, the United Nations have come down on Romania because the populist candidate was going to win the election. So the UN said, no, he can't stand. He can't stand. Now, I am careful when I talk about populists like this Polyev fella in Canada. I think we're going to start finding a few pinos out there, populist in name only. But nonetheless, my point remains, once you've established that single party and once you've banned opposition, that's tyranny. That is authoritarianism, and it protects itself by excluding competition.
They were sending that money.
I mean, it won't even be a question of needing people to vote for it, because there won't be elections. Once you've established a one-party state, you don't need elections. They'll be just sort of wiped off of history.
Even after President Trump signed an executive order saying it needs to stop, they still press send on $80 million to luxury hotels in New York. Your tax money went to pay for illegal aliens in luxury hotels in New York from an agency that is meant to help Americans in distress from natural disasters.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg of this stuff.
Right, and I would like to
That's
know
fucked
how
up.
much, and I would like to know how much they spent on North Carolina and how much they spent on Maui.
Yes, exactly. What's actually happening is they're buying voters. That's really what's happening. It's like a giant voter fraud scam. They're importing voters, and it's really just a matter of time. So, a lot of people have trouble believing this, but the more you look at it, the more you will realize just how much of a problem this is, and how it's not just real. It is an attempt to destroy democracy in America. That's what, in my view, it is what it.
It really is, and don't underestimate what that means. It's a significant claim, and fair play to Elon Musk. He's not making money out of this. This will, or certainly could, likely destroy his business. He's got enough money for sure, but the bloke's trying to land rockets, successfully landed rockets, but thankfully he sees the implications and the long-term turnout of this kind of blatant hatred for nation states.
It really is. Like, if you take the sort of 7 swing states, like, often the margin of victory there is like maybe 20,000 votes. If you put 200,000 illegals in there, and they have like a 80% likelihood of voting Dem, and it's only a matter of time before they become citizens, then those swing states will not be swing states in the future. And if they are not swing states, we'll be a permanent one-party state country.
And the key word there is permanent.
Deep blue socialist state. That's what America will become.
And that was the game plan.
That was the game plan. That is still the game plan.
And it's the same in Western Europe. People, let me know in the comments what you think. And again, if you want to catch the live streams, please subscribe. Viva the nation. Ta-da!